Yo YouTube, yeah, my name is Tevron American and welcome to my review of the PowerA Fusion Fightpad. I've spent a whole week using this Fightpad and I'm ready to give you guys the pros, the neutral and the cons towards this, and hopefully towards the end of the video I can give you guys a verdict whether or not I could recommend you this Fightpad. So yeah, further ado, I'm just gonna start off with the pros and then just go from there. So let's start talking about the most important thing about the Fightpad, the D-pad. It's definitely on my pros list. It's got a lot of motion, you know, it's very free. It's not got anything tiny back when you're trying to swirl it around with your thumb. It's very user-friendly, especially for Street Fighter as well. If you're into charge characters, if you're into motion characters, Mortal Kombat, if you like you're in the middle of juggling combos. Same with Tekken. It's very user-friendly, and on top of that, they've done a very good job to try, be inspired with the Sega Saturn controller. So it's definitely not. I wouldn't say it's better than the Sega Saturn controller, but it's touching pretty much that peak. It's good enough for fighting games, and especially for this generation as well. So second thing I love about this Fightpad is the triggers. Well made. In comparison to the DualShock 4, when you're pressing the triggers, when you're using the DualShock 4, you get a little bit of travel when you're pushing the triggers. Within this Fightpad, they've reduced the travel when you're pushing down the triggers, so you're not gonna lose out on response times when you're say like you're playing like Street Fighter 5. You want to get the V trigger in place, you want to time it into the middle of your strings. Also as well, like if you're playing momentum games like Tekken and Mortal Kombat as well, you're not going to lose response times on that. I like it when it's nicely low profile, or if you're going to make a trigger out of it, at least make it responsive in the hand, within the fingers. And that's what they've done, which is pretty much a win-win situation for players out there that want low profile buttons and also want triggers but want good response times within the triggers. So yeah, man, like they killed it on the triggers. I'm the most impressed with that. And the third thing I love about this Fightpad is the convenience with the cable. The micro USB cable into the Fightpad. Please, for the love of God, every single manufacturer out there that are designing Fightpads or even controllers that are wired base only, please do this, because it covers your back, it covers everyone else's back. Because one day, the controller's not going to work, or so the Fightpad's not going to work, or any type of peripheral to the console or PC machine or system is going to have problems because of the cable. And what do the consumers have to do? Players like us have to do. We have to buy a whole new goddamn Fightpad controller, whatever that's out there. So doing this is the way forward. PowerA did a good job. This is probably one of the first controllers out there that have this feature. I know that there's like a feature, there's like a little plugin where you can be able to just take that out, swap it with your own. But obviously, if you got like a USB Type C or micro USB, whatever two popular ports that are out there, just use them, guys, man. Like, manufacturers, just use them because it's just convenient. It just covers your back, saves everyone taking everything back because of a goddamn cable. So let's start talking about the neutrals. For me, and this is my taste, I love the face buttons. I love how glossy they feel. That's my type of taste when it comes to playing my fighting games. Some may like the raw solid plastic look and feel when they're playing their fighting games, but that's just me. It's got an average response time. That's cool. At the end of the day, it's going to be very beginner friendly. That's going to get into fighting games, and also as well, you're going to get used to it. So, and you've got these bumpers right now that are very responsive, very goddamn responsive, very nice to press. It's got a plastic feel. So this is what gets me. Like, you've got this average response, glossy feel of the buttons, then you got really responsive bumpers at the back that have a solid plastic feel. It makes no damn sense. Like it's gonna, depending on the type of user, it's gonna mess with your groove, especially if you play Street Fighter and it depends on the layout you use when you're playing that game. You're gonna have a very responsive bumper in each side, and you've got these average glossy, response face buttons. So it's gonna be difficult to get yourself in the groove of things when you're playing your game. So I see that as a neutral because it just doesn't work very well together. It's just two different breeds in two different sections. So let's start talking about the cons of this fight pad, the things I don't like about this fight pad. This is a topic I do not like talking about in general, but it's got to be done. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy, but yeah, the design, I do not like the design of the PowerA Fusion Fightpad. They tried to do a replica of the Sega Saturn and try to modernize it with extra features of their own. This is not a very good example of a fight pad. While I'm talking about the design of things, I'm not talking about the features. The features is what made fighting games legendary, which is the D-pad and the face buttons. That's what made fight pads what they are now. They're not copying. They're copying some sort of resources from the pad, but they're not making replicas of it. That's what makes this pad very superior. Not the design, not the shape, the features right there. That's what makes it superior. So this is 2019. You've released this for Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. So you gotta look at them type of communities, those type of backgrounds. This is gonna be a whole new damn breed for these communities when they're holding this controller, because the controller does not have handles. The layout is way different to others, so it's gonna be that case where you're gonna whether you're gonna like it or you don't. So take it from a person out there that grew up with Sega. Sega is like the mother of my childhood when it comes to gaming. That was the first console I started off with, a Sega Mega Drive and a Sega Genesis. Started off with Mortal Kombat 2 and Streets of Rage. Like this, I'm going way back there. That was convenient for that time, and it was great for fighting games at that time. But time has come, and things are getting better when it comes to the ethics, the design. No, the D-pad and the face buttons. Hell yes! Like, it's gonna be good for the players out there that love Sega. You're gonna love this pad. You're gonna feel like you're at home. But for the players out there that started off with Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, or any other system, you're gonna either love it or you hate it, because it's gonna be way different in the hand. Especially for players like me as well. Like, I got large hands. It has no handles. It makes no sense to me. It feels awkward when I hold it in the hand. So this design is not very superior for its time. The features are. So I hope you guys understand what I mean. Right, so let's talk about the second thing I don't like about this fight pad, is the price. They stated in the description that they tried to make this a wired fight pad just to reduce the cost. So if they tried to reduce the cost, why is it more expensive than the DualShock 4? Like, I need an explanation of why this costs more than this. Like, I want to know why. Like, and don't forget, the DualShock 4 is a wireless controller as well. I understand about the licensing with the companies. The companies getting profits, but still, like, a wireless controller is a big ball game. Making it wired reduces the cost in general. So I'm expecting this controller to be something like $39.99 or $34.99, something in that area. But when you look at in the comparison to the DualShock 4, I'm thinking, where's the money coming from? Like, yo, it's got both of them got headphone ports. This one has a touchscreen. So, and I know people out there thinking, oh yeah, you don't need touch screens in a fighting game. In Mortal Kombat 11, when you're trying to reset your character to the center position or whatever position you got your opponent and yourself into, you can be able to just push that button and it just centers you back instead of pressing start and reset. So it's useful for something. They should have just added that little tiny feature where you can just press that right there. And let's start talking about the last thing, which is the front covers of the Fightpad. And this really pissed me off to the core. What is the point of this? And I know everybody out there has a favorite color. My favorite color is black. Like no problem. I don't mean to be bitter, but this is what they should have done. If this D-pad breaks, you can just put a new one in. Why couldn't they do that? That's what annoyed me about this pad before I bought it. I thought, what's the point of doing this? Instead of doing this, why don't you do something with the ethics of the Fightpad? Why are you just giving us random colors of some plastic shell? For what? Just for color preferences? Like, I don't mean to be uptight and up my ass with this kind of stuff, but it's just so pointless. So let's finish this off with a verdict. Would I recommend you this Fightpad? If you're a huge Sega fan, you're Sega all the way, you've got that nostalgia feel towards the pad, and you're just curious and wondering, would it fit my preferences? Then you're gonna fit right at home. I definitely recommend it for the Sega community. For the players out there that have never played a Sega Fightpad, it's gonna be a hit and miss. It's gonna be a different experience because the way it's laid out for the handles and the grip, it's going to be a different experience in the hand. So whether it's claw, it's going to feel weird in the hand, or it's when you're holding it like this. It just depends on how you hold controllers in general. So you know, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, you grew up on those type of systems, then it's going to be a whole new breed. It's whether you like it or not. Yeah, man, for the price as well, and you know, the lack of imagination from PowerA, it's, you know, I can't really, you know, big this up and say this is gonna be, you know, the new generation or the kickstart of Fightpads, but it's definitely not one of the worst Fightpads I've ever used in general. So just want to make sure you guys keep it in mind about the D-pad. The D-pad is very good, but it has that feel that it's not gonna last very long. Like out of all the Fightpads I've experienced, this feels like within a good 50 to 100 hours of game time with this pad, you may experience a little bit of wear and, you know, a little bit of, you know, input errors when you're using this D-pad. Like, I'm going to be doing tests in my Fightpad guide, so don't worry, man. You're going to see more of these pads in my videos on my channel, so look out for that kind of stuff, man. And yeah, man, for the newcomers out there that's just seen this video, make sure to drop a sub and a like, man. There's more videos to come your way, but I hope this has helped. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.